So now we could open it up to some questions, and if you want to raise your hand, I'll identify a few at a time so that you know that you're called upon, and we'll take a few seconds. Okay.
Whoever wants to pass.
Joanna, and then Sir, you, and your third, and then your fourth. Yes.
So thank you guys for this panel. I was wondering, because I go to UW and I live in a great shared house, and we share a food budget and we share chores, and so we've had a lot of those elements that you guys have brought up. And the element that we haven't had as much of is the intention, and I think a lot of the people in my house and my community would be interested in that. So I'm just wondering if you could speak to some specific strategies for bringing that kind of intention that, Helen, you were saying, like, what's the bigger picture here? That we're all doing this, and we're not doing it just because it's convenient, and we're not doing it just because it's fun. It is fun, but that's not necessarily the only reason. So how do you bring that kind of intention into the conversation?
Do you want to take that? Because you've been there and you went from rentership to ownership to start up.
Well, I think one thing to consider in that, and for everyone considering this potential community thing, and especially a co-op, which is how my house identifies, is that the essence of a co-op, of a cooperative, is the membership. So it's about the members themselves, and it's so whatever the project is, it's for and by the members. So just to start off, I can't tell you necessarily like what it is that will get your group of people like to be more intentional about the whole project. It's about opening up that dialogue, just to see why it is that people want to live together and to have that be it. When a group of people share a common purpose or mission or vision in any of those sorts of incarnations and can come back to that, can reflect on that on a regular basis, and can trace the policies or trace kind of the systems and structures back to that purpose, I think that's all you really need. That gives all those things that you're doing intention and kind of grounds all of those people in a common kind of collective, cooperative kind of project. So that's what I would say.
Then you could start out with short term rather than it being sort of rather unrealistic if you're not committed to stay in one place and be living together, that you might have a project and you might try to pass it on to others, but not to say we're a community now forever, and that those are also a success, to say we're going to be this for a year or two or whatever, and then if other people are interested to come in and take over and take those places, that would be great too. But yes.
I also highly recommend a catchy name.
Some identity for a household, even if it's not, like shares. Yeah, that's a really great idea.
Additionally, in the little shout out for the intentional communities thing, there's a new-ish program called Strengthening Local Independent Co-ops Everywhere, which is starting out as a network of co-ops of different sorts, whether they be businesses or houses or any kind of cooperative. And there's going to be a segment of the conference in October on starting it up, what it takes, the building blocks of a co-op. So folks interested in that, Slice is what that's called. And it has yet to be a site, but you should find me through the Sherwood Co-op for more on that.
Yeah.
I have one suggestion also, and that is to have the people in the house come up with 7 or 10 values. Why are you there? And out of that, I think, how does that manifest itself?
Thanks for that. Next, number 2. Yes.
How do you handle animals? Because some people have cats or dogs, and obviously that could be group energy, or sometimes the animals are very shy and just stick with their owner, and sometimes they're very family-oriented or group-oriented.
Ananda actually has a policy of no dogs. We have a fair number of cats, but we have no dogs, partially because barking is disruptive to a meditative lifestyle. But it's a good question.
At Twin Oaks, we've had things that over and over, we just refer to them as the dog issues. Because anything that would come over and over and over would be just like trying to figure out how many dogs we're going to have. It's just, because we had even a big place, a rural place, but too many, it's going to impinge on the other animals or other people or whatever. So it really depends on the physical layout and the structure where you're located. Has that been your experience?
Well, we have on-leash, dogs have to be on leash to be out. And they don't go in the common house because some people are allergic to them. Our cats, however, are kind of that extra category of never really deciding. Some are outdoor cats and some are indoor cats. So, but the dogs we finally figured out. So, you know, you just roll with whatever works for, you know, you.
So it's just really like, you know, knowing what other people's tolerances are and looking at them.
Yeah, we don't have cats or dogs, only outside chickens, so. Just for that reason, because allergies keep people away more than they keep people in, so to be as inclusive as possible.
Is it cruel to make your chickens stay outside?
It's for the best. Yeah, for the best.
Okay, we have question number 3, and then I'll get 3 more sets.
Thank you for being here and discussing this issue. I was wondering how each of the communities sustain themselves financially. We talked about food purchases, but how do you actually, where does the money come from to buy the food or clothing or supplies?
Well, I think everybody else here, every person or household earns their own income however they please. Is that right?
Adding on to that, each finances are individual. There's rent to the community.
And so then there's a variety, and you can find out through the Intentional Communities Directory or online, look up things like that. You can decide if you want to be on a very, you know, communal kind of income like I talked about, or a sort of shared or mixed economy where some people might have a local business within the community and several people might own it together and work right there. Other people have another site they would go to work that's outside of the community, but there'd still be maybe several people who are community members that would maintain that business. There's a range, but in the urban setting, it's more yeah. So, next 3. Right here, there, and then. Oh, I'm sorry. You were here. Yes, here, and then to you.
I wanted to know if you guys were aware of growth. Were there other communities being formed?
Everywhere. Is that so, or is any different? Because in this last decade, and in especially the last 2 years, with economic decline and people becoming more aware of climate change possibilities, the oil, transition towns, all those sort of reasons are making people think about how to live together, being able to cooperate and share resources. More on that?
I would say there's a lot, in the world that I live in, like youngish people, there's a lot of kind of collective houses that get together, like a bunch of friends kind of do this kind of thing, get together, come up with a name, and just do it together, do this shared living thing together. And maybe they live for like a year or 2 and it lasts for like that kind of length. But there are, this like transition town idea is budding and happening, and there's a group of people in North Seattle who are starting to meet like on a regular basis to build a transitional Seattle structure. So it's happening.
Okay, so then, yeah.
Yay for community living.
Thank you. Hurrah!
I didn't come to catch. Where is the house?
It's in Virginia, Central Virginia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you're from Minnesota?
Originally, yes. I moved after I got an undergraduate degree, then I moved out to Virginia just to live there.
Where is Central?
Near Louisa, in Louisa County.